Yeah, you crossed the line, Alfie.
You fucking what?
You crossed the line.
The line?
They're using my boy! Did you fucking know?
Yeah, I knew, you know, but damned as I am, made no fucking difference to me, mate.
I asked you to come alone and unarmed.
Yeah, well, alone I ain't never gonna do, am I? And as for the cane, don't worry about it. That's just my sciatica. It always plays up around the winter and the summer solstice.
What have you got for me, Alfie?
What you bring me out here for?
It's on the way to someone I need to be in a hurry. What have you got for me?
Tommy's stance shows that he's aware he's in danger. He's putting his arms in front of his body, shielding his torso. And we do this to prepare to encounter a stressor. He's defending his vital organs from attack by putting his hands between himself and the potential stressor. The guy on the left, on the other hand, has his hands behind his back. He's showing off his vitals as an intimidation tactic. He's deliberately exposing this vulnerable area of the body to show off that he isn't afraid of Tommy in the slightest. Whether he's genuinely not afraid of him is more difficult to determine. Alfie also surveys the area with his head constantly. He's suspicious of why Tommy asked him to come out of the way, probably expecting some sort of ambush. Tommy does a distancing behavior with his eyes when he asks what Alfie has got for him. He closes them, showing that he's nervous of asking the question. If you haven't seen Peaky Blinders, you will see later on why he finds it awkward asking Alfie this question. We do distancing behaviors when we feel threatened or intimidated, or when simply thinking about something stressful. Tommy knows that Alfie is going to do something, as he has more intel, so that question is him basically baiting him into lying, which is why it causes him stress.
Well, seeing as you was prepared to pay such an exorbitant amount for this information, I decided to give you value for money. So, here are the names of all the men in England whom I would approach, right, if I had a Fabergé egg for sale. There you go. And then here's all the men on that list, you know, who would buy the old Fabergé egg, even if they knew that that item was stolen, yeah?
Alfie looks to the floor away from Tommy when giving him the lists. This could be taken as him trying to deceive, as he's afraid to look at Tommy directly when lying to him. I can't say this for sure, but it does seem like it. This then suggests that Alfie fears Tommy, as he's afraid of his response should he find out he's trying to deceive him. Tommy maintains strong eye contact with Alfie, likely due to the fact that he knows he's going to try and trick him. He knows he could become a stressor, and thus he fixes his eyes on him, trying to improve the chances of survival if he does try and react with violence. When we're feeling threatened or suspect we're going to encounter a stressor, which in this case would be Alfie, our bodies prepare us. He shields his torso and maintains strong eye contact far above the average 75% of the time, when typically listening to someone.
And then come your curious fucking Jippo question I won't ask, but there's a list of the men who would buy a Fabergé because of their wives' obsession. Oh, yes. Thank you, Mr. Shelby. It's lovely doing business with you.
Tommy does a micro-expression with his mouth when he knows Alfie is deceiving him, but he hides it and continues to act clueless. When we're angry, our body needs to pacify to let out the stress that's been caused by the stressor. Our jaw trembles and we shake as a way to release the large buildup of stress. He's clearly holding in his immense anger at Alfie, deliberately holding a calm and collected posture whilst really being incredibly angry. He clearly knows that Alfie is deceiving him. Alfie then continues to do distancing behaviors, showing rapid eye and head movement. He's either doing these head movements to distance as he knows he's deceiving Tommy, or he's looking around to survey his surroundings as he's expecting some sort of trap.
You left the name off the list, Alfie.
Did I?
Yeah. I've already spoken to my people in the jewellery quarter, experienced dealers. They tell me there are only 3 men in Britain whose wives are obsessed with Fabergé, make some good customers. You, mister, is just one off the list.
Yeah, well, if you knew already, how come you dragged me all the way out in the fucking hogging, mate?
2 reasons. Reason 1.
Once the cat is out of the bag, both Tommy and Alfie maintain strong eye contact. Alfie is prepared to meet the stressor, showing that although afraid of Tommy, he still sees himself as dominant and thus makes confrontational levels of eye contact. He doesn't distance and act submissive to help ease the situation as someone would typically do. He feels as though he's powerful enough to defeat the stressor, which is Tommy. He then does a pacifying behaviour. He scratches his face, which shows that he's going through high levels of stress.
While withholding a name that you most certainly know, you've proven to me that you've done a deal with the Oddfellows. It was you who told them about the tunnel. You who told them about the fucking deal with the Soviets. Reason 2, the name of the man that you're withholding must be my enemy, otherwise you wouldn't be protecting him. He's now a man I can use.
Listen, sweetie, you can't take a man.
I gave information in exchange for a share.
Oh, he told me there were things in that treasury, right? God himself, he spoke to me and he said, Alfie, you are meant to have it.
Alfie does another pacifying behaviour, this time with his mouth. He tenses his lips together, showing yet again that he's going through high levels of stress, which is understandable when you have a gun to your head. There are so many micro-expressions and subtle non-verbal cues being displayed here, so see if you can spot them. He tenses his mouth again, for example. Tommy is maintaining strong eye contact and remains calm and professional, despite showing the micro-expression earlier showing his immense anger.
You crossed the line, Alfie.
You fucking what?
You crossed the line.
The line? They're using my boy!
Do you fucking know?
Yeah, I knew, you know, but damned as I am, made no fucking difference to me, mate. Fuck you, don't Tommy! Oh, crying out loud. What the fuck is going on?
Tommy finally drops his faked calm persona, showing his true emotions, which were only hinted at before with his micro-expressions. When he asks if he knew, he tenses his brow, which again highlights his immense anger at Alfie. That subtle one-armed shrug from Alfie confuses me a bit, as that's typically a sign of a lack of knowledge. I would say that he didn't actually know about his boy, but then why would he say it anyway? I'm not sure about this one.
What's the matter with you, Tommy, eh? Hey? You gone fucking angry, ain't you? I got fucking angry! Fucking angry! This bastard deserves it! He's not! He's in your fucking head!
No, this bastard deserves it! I fucking know!
Right.
But if you kill him now, the truce with the London outfits will be run to fucking pieces, all right?
Don't worry about that truth, kid, right? Because it fell apart, all right? You've got nothing to worry about when it comes to the old scary London boy.
What fucking side do you want, Alfie?
Give a fuck right now, kid, right? I do not want him to spare me because of some fucking peace pact. I want him to acknowledge that his anger is unfucking justified. I want him to acknowledge that he who fights by the sword, he fucking dies by it, Tommy. So they took your boy, did they? Yeah? You got your boy. And what fucking line am I supposed to have crossed?
So I don't really need to explain too much here. Alfie is displaying all the classic signs of extreme anger, and he's able to confront Tommy despite having a gun to his head, showing that he still sees himself as just as dominant despite not having a gun. You can still be afraid and dominant. Tommy, on the other hand, is in shock. When we go into shock, our brains get us to open our mouths in order to increase the intake of oxygen to help us deal with a stressor. However, he keeps diverting his eyes to the floor and makes pretty much no eye movement, showing that he's in deep thought and reflection. Looking to the floor can be taken as a distancing behavior, but I think in this context it's more of a reflection on what's happening. Shame and guilt are also associated with this nonverbal cue, so it could be that. But I haven't actually seen any of this series, so I have no clue about the overall context.
How many fathers, right? How many sons, yeah? Have you cut, killed, murdered, fucking butchered, innocent and guilty, to send them straight to fucking hell, ain't ya? Just like me! Fucking stand there. You, judging me, stand there and talk to me about crossing some fucking line. If you pull that trigger, right, you pull that trigger for a fucking honourable reason. Like an honourable man, not like some fucking civilian that does not understand the wicked way of our world, mate.
Look, Tommy, the killing of Alfie Solomons is not going to help. This will be very bad for business.
Alfie changes his proxemics to get closer to Tommy, showing again that he feels just as dominant, if not more so than him. When we feel confident enough to move closer to a stressor, it shows that we feel able to deal with that stressor. Alfie is also able to make strong eye contact with Tommy, again backing the point that he sees himself as just as dominant.
Michael? Go and call Inspector Moss. Tell him it's Palmer. Well said, Alfie. Well said.
I did not know about your boy, though.
I know. I saw.
Alfie opens his mouth to speak and distances with his head. He finds Tommy congratulating him as very awkward and wants to respond, but can't actually find the words to say anything. He also exhales, which is another pacifying behavior. Both Tommy and Alfie are full of adrenaline and are incredibly angry, but the situation is de-escalated and they now need to vent that stress. This is why Alfie needs to pacify. His brow is also tensing up, which is a sign of confusion. I think he's very confused as to how the conversation changed so rapidly from Tommy threatening to kill him to agreeing with him. This scene is actually the most challenging one I've done so far. I normally watch the shows before I react to them, but with this one I went in completely blind. There is so much detail in the nonverbal communication, and it's really cool to see. Both Alfie and Tommy do subtle micro-expressions and other nonverbal cues that highlight the thoughts and feelings of their characters. Really awesome to see. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. And before we go, thank you for 100,000 subscribers. It really means a lot to me. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.